It's the 22nd of November 2024. This is a brand new edition of Primetime News coming to you live and direct from our Newsfirst studios here in Colombo. Bringing you the news tonight for the Newsfirst team, I am Jayama Ratnayaka.
And I'm Theruni Ratna. Let's start off with a look at your headlines for tonight.
Newsfirst headlines. Main sponsor.
A trusted place for your fixed deposit. Valuable FD, a symbol of stability.
A completed debt restructuring process will alleviate sovereign-related pressures on banks, Fitch Ratings affirms. Professor Gomika Udugamasuriya appointed as the President's Senior Advisor on Science and Technology. Harin and Pillayan reappear at the CIT. Excavation for Veyangoda treasure begins following court order. Hirunika and Iran. Dr. Harsha De Silva's pick for SJB national list seats. Opposition will not progress under Sajith, says parliamentarian Dilith.
මං හිතන්නේ සජිත් ප්‍රේමදාස මහත්තයත් එක්ක අපිට විපක්ෂයේ භූමිකාවක් උපාය මාර්ගිකව තියෙනවා කියලා.
Phil Ranjan abandoned politics after election defeat.
Wrong time, wrong place.
Newsfirst headlines. Main sponsor.
A trusted place for your fixed deposit. Valuable FD, a symbol of stability.
In our top story for tonight, representatives of the International Monetary Fund held discussions with officials of the Sri Lankan government today as part of the review conducted to release funds under the third tranche of the IMF's Extended Fund Facility.
An IMF delegation led by Senior Mission Chief Peter Brewer participated in today's discussions. The President's Media Division said that a group representing the Sri Lankan government, led by Deputy Minister of Economic Development Professor Anil Jayantha Fernando, participated in the discussions. The PMD confirmed that discussions between the International Monetary Fund and the government of Sri Lanka on the third review have been successfully concluded. Speaking in Parliament yesterday, the President expressed optimism on inking the staff-level agreement for the third tranche by Saturday, the 23rd of November.
Fitch Ratings has stated that the easing of sovereign stresses in Sri Lanka will help improve the credit profiles of the country's banks.
Fitch Ratings said Sri Lankan banks' operating environment assessment and overall credit profiles will be supported by any improvement in the sovereign's credit profile, that is the long-term foreign currency IDR at RD and the long-term local currency IDR CCC-, following a completed debt restructuring. According to Fitch, the sovereign exposure tends to be higher among the large banks, and the state-owned enterprise or the SOE's exposure is primarily at the two state-owned DSIBs. Fitch expects an improvement in Sri Lanka's credit profile to alleviate sovereign-related pressures on the banks, which is likely to be credit positive in terms of our financial and non-financial assessments. The Fitch rating statement read that Sri Lanka is close to completing its foreign currency debt restructuring. A successful outcome, in line with the proposed framework for local bondholders, would be likely to significantly reduce the challenges faced by banks, improving their financial profiles. Pressures on foreign and local currency funding and liquidity have eased considerably due to better external sector flows and the bank's efforts to preserve liquidity. We expect banks to regain access to foreign currency wholesale funding following the restoration on the sovereign's creditworthiness.
Professor Gomika Udugamasuriya has been appointed as the President's Senior Advisor on Science and Technology.
Professor Gomika Udugamasuriya, affiliated with the University of Houston and the MD Anderson Cancer Research Center in the United States, received his appointment letter today at the President's office from the Secretary to the President, Dr. Nandika Sanath Kumanayaka. An alumnus of the S.N. Nayaka College, Colombo, Professor Udugamasuriya holds a specialized degree in chemistry from the University of Colombo. He earned his PhD from Wayne State University in Michigan, USA, and completed postdoctoral research at the University of Texas Southwestern Medical Center. A holder of numerous patents, Professor Udugamasuriya's decision to transition from his role in U.S. public service to take up the honorary position of Senior Advisor on Science and Technology is a notable development.
The Supreme Court today ordered the fundamental rights petition filed by a group including Prime Minister Dr. Harini Amarasuriya, alleging a violation of their fundamental rights during an attack on a peaceful women's protest at the Polduwa Junction near Parliament, be taken up on the 30th of January 2025.
The case was taken up before a bench comprising Justices Yasantha Kodagoda, Achala Vengappuli and Priyantha Fernando. The petition has been filed by Prime Minister Dr. Harini Amarasuriya, Member of Parliament Nilanthi Kottahachi and a group of female activists from the National People's Power. Former Acting Inspector General of Police Deshabandhu Tennakon, OICs from the Valikada, Talangama and Mirihana police stations and Nugegoda Senior Superintendent of Police have been named as respondents in the petition. The petition highlights that on the 4th of December 2023, during the debate on the budget heading of the Ministry of Women's Affairs, a group gathered at the Polduwa Junction near the Parliament to stage a peaceful protest aimed at raising awareness on the challenges faced by women. The petition states that the police used water cannons to disperse the peaceful protest without any justifiable reason. The petitioners, claiming that this action by the police violated their fundamental rights, have requested a declaration from court and appropriate compensation to be granted. During the hearing, President's Counsel Salia Piris, representing the petitioners, noted that a case is ongoing in the Magistrates' Court against individuals arrested during this incident. The President's Counsel informed the court that if this case is withdrawn, a decision can be made on whether to proceed with this petition. Appearing for the respondents, Deputy Solicitor General Madhava Tennakon emphasized the need to consult the respondents regarding this matter. The bench scheduled the petition to be recalled on the 30th of January 2025.
Former Member of Parliament Sivanosuthure Chandrakanthan alias Pillan once again arrived at the Criminal Investigation Department today.
Former Member of Parliament Sivanesathure Chandrakanthan alias Pillan arrived at the Criminal Investigation Department for the second day today to record a statement over the Channel 4 documentary on the Easter Sunday attacks. He had previously visited the CID on the 20th of November to record a statement on the same matter. The former MP said he arrived at the CID once again to provide a statement on the matter. He spent over 7 hours recording a statement to the CID.
ෂේරිගේ ඩවුට් තියෙනවානේ මොනවද මට ක්වෙස්චන් එක ආන්සර් කර විතරයි හරි දැන් අද ආයතනයක් එන්නේ කිව්වද කොහොමද නෑ මේ වගේ නෑ ඕනනම් වෙන්න පුළුවන් දැන් නෑ දැන් මොනවද කියන්නේ ඒක බොරුනේ අසතගේ බොරුවේ බොරුව තමයි කියන්නේ බොරුනේ බොරු චෝදනා කරේ බොරු චෝදනාවේ මම දන්නවා බොරු කියන්නේ ඒක ඔයාට ඔයා වගේ ඉන්න කටිට කතා කරන්න බෑනේ ඒක මේ ඩවුට් එකේ ආනවලු මම ඒක උත්තර දෙනවා එච්චරයි.
Former Minister Harini Fernando was summoned to the Criminal Investigation Department today.
The court recently granted permission to investigate the cabinet paper over the transaction of substandard human immunoglobulin, which was initiated during the previous government. As part of the investigation, former ministers are being summoned to the Criminal Investigation Department. Today, former Minister Harini Fernando visited the CID to record a statement.
procurement process එකක් ඒක bypass වුණාද ඒ වගේ දේවල් තමයි සම්පූර්ණ අහලා තිබ්බේ. ඉතින් දන්න තරමින් දන්න විදිහට උත්තර දුන්නා. ඊට අමතර දෙයක් උනේ නෑ. හිටපු ජනාධිපතිතුමාට එතුමා ගාවටත් යයි මම එතුමා මේ දවස්වල පිටරට රටින් බැහැරව ඉන්නේ. එතුමා අපෝම එතුමාගෙනුත් ගනි. නමුත් එතුමා මොන පියවරක් ගනිද දන්නේ නෑ. මොකද කැබිනට්ටුවක් එම බැහැ කියන මතයක තමයි එතුමා ඉන්නේ. හැබැයි මම හිතන්නේ එතුමා ඒක නීති තර්කයක් එක්ක අනුව බලයි.
Excavation activities that began yesterday near the Central Expressway, which is under construction in Vandurava, Veyangoda, continued for the second day today. Many groups of people in the past had been carrying out excavations at this location with the aim of uncovering valuables. However, these excavations are now being carried out in compliance with a court order following a request made by the police.
Excavations at this site commenced yesterday following an order obtained by the Athanagala Magistrates Court on the 11th of November. The excavations are being carried out under the supervision of officials from the Geological Survey and Mines Bureau, the Department of Archaeology, Veyangoda Police Station, the Road Development Authority as well as the Mirigama Divisional Secretariat. Since no signs of valuables were found yesterday, excavations resumed this morning. By this evening, a large rock suspected to contain treasure had been discovered. The initial investigation conducted by the Department of Archaeology stated that there is no evidence to suggest that a treasure is buried in this location. A later investigation by the Police Special Task Force uncovered that something suspicious beneath the surface. However, there was no possibility of moving the large rock even by this evening. The government analyst has also been assisting with the excavation, which is being carried out in public.
Minister of Agriculture, Livestock, Land and Irrigation K.D. Lanka addressed the rice shortage in the market and the government's decision to import rice, providing clarifications at a media briefing today.
Minister Vasantha and I, both the Ministry of Consumer Affairs and the Ministry of Agriculture, discussed with officials from both sides on this matter. There is currently a shortage of Nadu rice in the market with concerns about pricing. However, in terms of production, there should be sufficient rice available, but it has not reached the market. Therefore, we will be importing rice from India. A joint cabinet paper from both ministries addressing this issue will be presented at the next cabinet meeting. We will ensure that no one is affected. The issues faced by farmers will be addressed as well as this issue. It is essential. We will address the consumers' issue as well. We won't let any intermediate parties take advantage of the situation. We have no issues with large-scale mill owners, but if there is a shortage in the market while production took place as usual, they should have the stocks. It cannot be anywhere else. Therefore, we will prioritize the consumers and farmers and take necessary steps.
The
current price is set according to the government-approved rate with no shortage in the market. Based on this price, we will ensure that rice remains available in the market.
Newsfirst with the people.
What are the latest developments on the crisis within the New Democratic Front and its national list seats? Ravi Karunanayake has already been elected to the seat and was sworn in as a Member of Parliament yesterday. However, the chairman of the United National Party, issuing a statement, claimed the appointment was baseless. He said the party leadership had not been informed about the nomination beforehand.
Attorney Shamila Pereira serves as the secretary of the New Democratic Front, which contested the recent elections under the symbol of the gas cylinder. The alliance, formed among several factions led by former President Ranil Wickremesinghe and former Prime Minister Dinesh Gunawardena, secured 3 seats and 2 national list seats in the parliamentary election. After the election, the NDF secretary informed the Election Commission that Ravi Karunanayake would be elected to a national list seat. The secretary said that this decision was made in accordance with an agreement between the allied factions and that Ranil Wickremesinghe was aware of this appointment. Ravi Karunanayake also commented on the matter today.
I am well aware of Ranil Wickremesinghe now too. He has appointed a few individuals. When it comes to our party, let's remember that in 2010, we managed to secure just 4 votes thanks to a request made by Sarath Fonseca to Ranil Wickremesinghe. In 2015, Maithripala Sirisena won with similar backing from him. Then in 2019, Sajith Premadasa contested with the same support. So, as you can see, this isn't just some opportunistic party that changes its stance on a whim. We've been working together for nearly 20 years. So why is this issue only coming up now? The situation changed completely after the leader made a public statement. Once he spoke out, everything shifted. They realized there was an agreement in place. So, am I not a UNP member? In fact, 99.9% of the UNP stands by me. The chairman claims that they don't support Ravi, but who exactly is making these claims? It is clear to me that this party has been broken apart by the actions of a few individuals.
දැනට වජිර අපේ වර්ධන ප්‍රයත්නිකුත් කරනවා මේ රනිල් වික්‍රමසිංහ මහත්තයා නොදැනුවත්ම කර ක්‍රියාවලියක් කියලා.
මොකද එතුමා මේ සම්බන්ධයෙන් මේ ගිවිසුම එක කිසිම සම්බන්ධකමක් නැහැ. ඉතින් රනිල් වික්‍රමසිංහ නායකතුමා දන්නවා ඇති හරියට තියෙන. ඒ නිසායි කතා කරන්නේ නැත්තේ.
A group of members of an organisation named Aratur, which is affiliated with the United National Party, arrived at the Sirikotha party headquarters today to hand over a letter to party leader Ranil Wickremesinghe.
මේ අද අපිට මේ ජාතික ලයිස්තු මන්ත්‍රී ධූරයේ අර්බුදයක් ඇති වෙලා තියෙනවා. ඒක හොරාගත්තයි කියනවා. ඒකට හේතුවත් අපි මේ ගෑස් සිලින්ඩර් අනුන්ගේ පක්ෂකින් ගිය නිසානේ. විධිමත් ක්‍රමවේදයක් නැතුව, ගිවිසුමක් නැතුව ඒ පක්ෂක කටවචනයට ඡන්දයකට ගිහිල්ලා අන්තිමේදී අපේ පක්ෂය පාවා දීම විතරයි සිදු වුනේ. ඒක නිසා අපේ පාක්ෂිකව පාවා දෙන්නේ නැතුව මේ පක්ෂය නැවත රැක ගන්න නම් අපි නැවත බිම්මට්ටම සංවිධානය කරන්න අපි මේ යෝජනා මාලාවක් ඉදිරිපත් කරලා තියෙනවා.
However, party leader Ranil Wickremesinghe was not able to accept the letter as he was overseas. The group of Aratur later accused another group that had arrived at the party headquarters of assaulting them.
අපි යන්න සිරිකොතෙන් එළියට බහිනකොටම වාහන හතරක් ආවා එකක ආවා ප්‍රාඩෝ එක ආවා පුද්ගලෙක් රන්දික කියන පුද්ගලයා ඔහු රවි කරුණානායක මහත්මයාගේ ලේකම් ඔහු ඉදිරියට ඇවිල්ලා ආවා උඹද ආවේ උඹලා කවුද කියලා ඇහුවා උඹලා ආවේ රවිව පන්නන්නද කියලා ඇහුවා උඹලව පන්නනවයි කියලා අපිට පහර දුන්නා අපිට නෙමෙයි ගැහුවේ ජනතා පරමාධිපත්‍යයේ බලයට අපි මේ බලය නියෝජනය කරමින් මෙතෙන්ට ආවේ.
Another group that was at the party headquarters left the party headquarters in this manner.
අපි මේ රනිල් වික්‍රමසිංහට උදා මේ ස්තුති කරන්න ආව රවි කරුණානායක පත් කරපු එකට. එතුමා පත් කරලා දිනවා රවි කරුණානායකව අපි ආරි ස්තුති කරන්න ආව මේක. එයා නෑ. ඕ නෑ ඉතින් ඒක තමයි අපි සංදේශයක් බාර දෙන්න ආවේ ස්තුති කරලා. Only one of the 5 nationalist parliamentary seats allocated for the Samaga Jana Balawegaya has been filled so far. Ranjit Maduma Bandara has been nominated for this seat. Journalists inquired the General Secretary regarding the delay in other appointments during a media briefing held today.
පේලයිසිත අපි ඕන කාලේ නියමිත වෙලාවට අපි එනවා මොකද්ද ඔබතුමාලට ඔච්චරම තියෙන ප්‍රශ්නේ අපි ලයිස්තුව ගැන ආණ්ඩුව ගැන බලන්න
අපට වඩා මේ රටව හිතාගෙන මේ ලයිස්තුව පත් කරගන්න බැරුව ඉන්නවා
නෑ අපි වඩාත් සුදුසුම ලයිස්තුව හොඳ වෙලාවට පත් කරනවා මහත්මයා තුමේ සුදුසුයි කියලා
සුදුසුයි නමුත් දෙනවාද කියන ප්‍රශ්නේ තියෙන්නේ
ඒ මොකද්ද ප්‍රශ්නේ කරන්නේ පොඩ්ඩක් බලාගෙන ඉන්න
මනෝජ සේනසිංහ මහත්තයා ඉන්නවා
එතුමා බොහොම තරුණ දක්ෂ දේශපාලඥයෙක් බොහොම හොඳට වැඩ කරා. ඉතින් එතුමා සුසුවෙක් කෙනෙක්.
මනෝගණේෂන් මහත්මයා ඉල්ලනවා. එතකොට රවුල් ෆකීම් මහත්මයා බලාපොරොත්තු වෙමින් ඉන්නවා. අනෙක් ජාතීන් හටත් සාධාරණයක් ඉෂ්ට කරන්න.
ඒක දම්නාසෙන් ප්‍රශ්නේ කිව්වනේ දැන් කී දෙනෙක් ඉල්ලනවාද? කීප දෙනෙක් තෝරගන්න ඕනේ. ඒක තමයි මේ කරන්නේ.
දැන් ඔබතුමා හැබැයි මේ ඉල්ලුමට සැපෙව දෙන්න අමාරුයි කියලා.
කොහොමද ඉතින් තියෙන දේෙන් කළමනාකරණය කරගන්න පැය කරනවා. මේ වගේ විශාල පක්ෂයක තීරණ ගන්න පොඩ්ඩක් පරක්කු වුණා මොකද වෙන්නේ? රනිල් වික්‍රමසිංහ මහත්මයා මාස 11ක් හිටියා. අපි තාම දවස් 11ක්වත් හිටියේ නැහැ.
MP Dr. Harsh De Silva commented on the national list candidates of the Samaga Jana Balawegaya at a party meeting held in Kotte yesterday.
When the media asked me about this, I mentioned that it would be ideal if we could include both Iran and Hirunika. However, we must understand that we only have 4 more seats available. The other parties that contested alongside us have also requested a seat. Unfortunately, Mano Ganesan didn't secure a win, but we are allocating a seat to his party, which will bring him into parliament. Then there's Rishad Badiuddin, Rauf Hakim and Palani Digambaram. We need to consider them and ensure fairness in our decisions. Hirunika Premachandra initiated this effort. She even went to Gotabe's residence, faced remand custody and has ongoing cases against her. She lost her seat by just 5,000 votes.
ගෝඨාභය මහත්තයාගේ ගෙදරට ගියේ ගිහිල්ලා හිරෙන් ගියා මේගොල්ලෝ නඩුත් තියෙනවා එහෙම කරපු හිරුනිකාට ඡන්ද 5000කින් තමයි ආසනේ මිස්සුනේ.
This is how the minister celebrated his victory with party supporters. The leader of the Sarvajana Balaya, parliamentarian Dilip Jayawira, said in Kandy today that there is no plan to work together with the current opposition leader.
No, there is nothing we can do together with the Samaga Jana Balawegaya. They themselves have proven that. The former leader of the opposition achieved this result while he was the opposition leader. This is something that has never happened in history. That means the former main opposition has given the opportunity to a group of people who achieved less than 3% of the votes to gain power. That alone goes to show just how weak the opposition is. This country needs a strong opposition, a bold opposition. I don't think that we can play a strategic role in the opposition led by Sajith Premadasa.
Ranjan Ramanayaka, who contested in this year's parliamentary election, expressed these views to the media after a court proceeding today.
ඔබතුමා සමුගන්නවද ප්‍රතිවර්ණව ක්‍රියාකලාපවලින් සහ ජනතාවගෙන් දිගටම ඔබතුමාගේ නළුකම රැකගෙන ඉන්නවා
මම ඔරගන් කරලා නැහැ මම ජනතාව වෙනුවෙන් ඉන්නවා මම මැරෙනකම් මම මේ විදිහ තමයි මේ ගමන දිගටම යනවා තුන් පාරක් දිනලා එකපාරක් පෙරදුනාම ජනතාවට බයින් එක යුක්තිසහගතද තෝරාගැනීමේ පස් wrong time wrong place.
The drinking water shortage has permeated many parts of Sri Lanka, affecting thousands of lives. Similarly, numerous schools, especially in rural areas, have been grappling with this crisis for far too long.
But today, Gamadha provided a permanent solution to a village and school suffering from this crisis.
These are scenes which unfolded when locals of the Tamvatta village celebrated the end of their long-lasting thirst for clean drinking water. Locals of the village and its vicinity, both young and old, will no longer be burdened by the scarcity of clean water. For decades, they suffered in silence without a source of clean drinking water. Kidney-related ailments were commonplace. Tamvatta is home to 650 families, including 130 school children. Several months ago, Gamadha visited the village carrying the joyous news of a solution to their water crisis. Their aspirations were renewed as the foundation stone was laid to construct a clean water apparatus to serve both the village and the local school, the Shastra Loka Vidyalaya. A dream dreamt by many of years gone by was realized today amid the blessings of the Mahasangha. Sarojini Munasinghe and A.H. Munasinghe of Colombo 7 were the generous benefactors behind the completion of this project, while the Sri Lanka Navy contributed its technical know-how. The project was vested with the people today as hope springs eternal in the residents of Tamvatta. We at Gamadha also shared their delight.
Gamadha. Newsfirst. Main sponsor.
Generators for long-term rent. Multiways Engineering Private Limited.
A trusted place for your fixed deposit. Valuable FD, a symbol of stability.
Several newly appointed deputy ministers assumed duties today.
Deputy Minister of Agriculture and Livestock Namal Karunaratne, along with Deputy Minister of Lands and Highways Dr. Susil Ranasinghe, assumed duties at the Ministry of Agriculture today. Minister of Agriculture, Lands, Livestock and Irrigation K.D. Lal Kanta was also present.
We
have been handed over a ministry that we have been involved with for a while now. Over the past few years, we've worked closely with farmers across the country, so we have a clear understanding of the challenges and tasks ahead of us. We have a clear plan to move the agricultural sector forward, and we are committed to putting it into action. There have been some issues regarding fertilizer subsidies in certain areas, and it is important that we resolve these quickly. Our main goal is to improve the quality of life for both farmers and the general public. We are fully committed to this cause. It's this passion and dedication that brought us into politics, and the government is ready to take on these responsibilities.
Deputy Minister of Industry and Entrepreneurship Development Chaturanga Besinghe also assumed duties this morning.
Our focus is on uniting the objectives of various institutions and pushing the entire industrial sector forward following a national strategy. Specifically, the government aims to achieve a $35 billion export economy by 2030 and a GDP growth of over 6.5%. To achieve this, the industrial sector will play a crucial role and we are prepared for this huge responsibility.
The Deputy Minister's birthday was also celebrated today. Deputy Minister of Housing TB Sarath assumed his duties at the Ministry of Housing in Battaramulla. He outlined a clear plan of action for addressing the nation's housing challenges, particularly in rural and urban areas.
We've struggled to provide good housing with adequate sanitary facilities in our country, but we are determined to close these gaps. Providing quality housing is a significant issue and we are ready to take on the leadership needed to resolve this challenge.
Deputy Minister of Youth Affairs Eranga Gunasekara and Deputy Minister of Sports Sugat Tilakaratna assumed their duties at the Ministry of Youth and Sports this morning.
Our focus is on uplifting the youth of our country and supporting the growth of sports. We have worked closely with several key individuals who have offered their valuable insights and we are ready to work together with them to boost both our youth sector and sports development. I hold an important position. We are eager to collaborate and help develop the sports sector further, contributing to the country's economy as part of our future plans.
Deputy Minister of Labour Mahinda Jayasinghe assumed his duties this morning as well.
We are ready to create a better country for both the workforce as well as the general public. We are ready to take the necessary steps to make that vision a reality. The Newsfirst Finance Report.
Sri Lanka's overall inflation rate fell to negative 0.7% in October 2024, down from negative 0.2% in September.
The overall inflation rate, as measured by the National Consumer Price Index, decreased to -0.7% in October, down from -0.2% in September, according to the latest data from the Department of Census and Statistics. This marks a continued decline in the rate of inflation, with the NCPI for all items standing at 203.6 for October, a decrease of 0.5 index points compared to September. Food inflation also saw a significant drop, falling to -0.16% in October from 0.5% in September. This reduction was driven by the lower prices in food items, which declined by 0.16% month on month. Non-food items also contributed to the overall decrease, with a 0.35 drop in their prices.
Let's now take a look at the latest updates from Sri Lanka's stock market and insights into currency fluctuations.
The Colombo Stock Exchange experienced a notable increase today, with the All-Share Price Index or ASPI rising by 0.56% to close at 13,054 points. Similarly, the S&P SL20 recorded gains of 0.27%, reaching 3,871 points. In other financial news, the Sri Lankan rupee has appreciated against the US dollar, with the selling price now at 295 rupees and the buying price at 286 rupees, as reported by the Central Bank of Sri Lanka.
A cycle parade and walk was held in Jaffna today to mark the bicentenary of the Uduville Girls' College.
The cycle parade and walk was held as part of the bicentenary celebrations of the Uduville Girls' College in Jaffna.
Today was the 6th bicentenary event, the cycle parade and walk. It's been a tremendous day so far. We have had a good time walking and cycling, and nearly all of the 1,600 students took part along with members of the board of directors of the school, the 3 past teachers who are still with us, and also the past pupils, the students, the teachers and the parents, and it was an amazing day. And also we want to thank God for giving us a great weather to celebrate this day. We are very thankful to God for having been with us all these 200 years, and we trust that He will be with us and take this school forward to greater heights. And it's been a great year so far, celebrating the 200 years of the school.
The procession was a tribute to the college's significant contribution to education in the north, particularly for empowering young women in the region for over 2 centuries.
According to Flashback's latest trends report, Sri Lanka has been named the most popular solo travel destination for 2025.
Sri Lanka, the pearl of the Indian Ocean, where ancient history meets modern vibrancy, to its nature's beauty, which is matched only by the warmth of its people, from the golden sands of Sirasa to the bustling sea waves of Arugambe, to its delightful fusion of flavors and spices, and to its world-class tea. An island rich with its diverse culture, Sri Lanka, an adventurous island with an experience for a lifetime. Recently, Sri Lanka has been named as the most popular solo travel destination for 2025, according to Flashback's latest trends report. The data shows that the average age of Flashback solo travelers has increased from 36 to 39 since the pandemic, reflecting a maturing market for independent adventure tourism. This shift coincides with the boom in social travel, a trend that fostered over 160,000 new friendships, including 50,000 in 2024 alone.
U.S. President-elect Donald Trump said on Thursday he will nominate former Florida Attorney General Pam Bondi to lead the Justice Department, turning to a longtime ally after his first choice, Matt Gaetz, withdrew his name from consideration amid scrutiny over sex trafficking allegations.
US President-elect Donald Trump has nominated veteran prosecutor Pam Bondi as his new pick for Attorney General hours after Matt Gaetz withdrew his name from consideration. Bondi has a long track record in law enforcement and previously served as Florida's Attorney General. A longtime Trump ally, Bondi was part of his legal team during his first Senate impeachment trial and also publicly supported him by showing up at court during his hush money trial in New York. Trump said in his social media post announcing his choice, quote, Pam was a prosecutor for nearly 20 years where she was very tough on violent criminals and made the streets safe for Florida families, end quote. It confirmed by the Senate, Bondi will become the country's chief law enforcement officer in charge of the Justice Department's more than 115,000 employees and roughly $45 billion budget.
Suspected methanol poisoning from tainted drinks has reportedly killed 6 tourists in a Laos holiday town in the past fortnight.
An Australian teenager has become the 6th foreign tourist to die in a suspected mass methanol poisoning in Laos, as a growing list of countries warned of the potentially fatal consequences of drinking tainted alcohol in the Southeast Asian country. According to authorities, a British woman, another Australian teenager, an American and 2 Danes have also died in recent days following a spate of suspected poisonings in the popular backpacker destination of Wang Vieng. News reports and testimonies suggest the tourists may have consumed alcohol laced with methanol, a deadly substance often found in bootleg alcohol. Just a small amount of methanol, a colorless liquid that tastes similar to alcohol, can be lethal, but it is sometimes added to drinks because it is cheaper than alcohol. The backpacker hostel, where the Australian teenagers were staying, has said it gave out free drinks to around 100 guests the previous evening. But the hostel's manager told foreign media that no other guests had become unwell. The manager of the hostel has since been detained for questioning by police. It is not yet known where any of the people who fell sick or died were poisoned. It can take up to 24 hours for victims to start showing signs of illness.
And that's a wrap of Primetime News for tonight.
Thank you for watching. Good night.